My name is Shailesh Goswami. You can call me Gosu from my IT days. So ever since I started, it was a name I could afford to keep in my card. So I just call myself Gosu. We have started this company in 2015, so it's been close to 8 years, and we've tried multiple models, multiple geographies, and hope to share some of that with you guys. As a company, what we do, we make a cloud-based media design software. We work with Autodesk and other people in the world, and we built it for Hyderabad, companies headquartered in Singapore. We have 3 companies in US, India, and Singapore. We build here, sell to the world. We sell in 21 countries. Like Nikhil said, we have 0 salespeople. So that's an interesting thing to share. So hopefully, I can share something and happy to take any questions you guys have. So this is March 2022 when we were asked to vacate our premises and our holding was thrown out. So we had just signed, so we had raised around $40-50 million before that, and we signed a big term sheet in January. We went through the due diligence in March 2022. We were told that the term sheet is no longer valid because you know what is happening, and this was a US-based investor, and we were told that the world is going to go through a major recession, and therefore, sorry, Anda, but we can't honor this. We gave out all our projections in October 21, and we started accelerating because once you are engaged with somebody, you need to make sure that you are hitting your projections and you're growing. So we had increased our burn rate as well. Unfortunately, this happened, and suddenly we were in a situation where we were at a negative cash flow. The existing $6 million last raise was coming to 0, and all of that chaos happened. We had to let go 60% of our employees. All of this came with the backdrop of a high we had. So we had a full building to ourselves. This is in Hyderabad. The whole 4 or 5 floors were ours. This is the board up there. This was a Singapore office on some 40th floor. Beautiful view. We had 4 or 5 employees in Singapore. This was our US office in Philadelphia, in Market Street. We have 4 employees there. All put together, we will have like 112 employees, multi-country, everything going right, going very fast. And of course, obviously, our annual parties were top of the town. We were very popular for our parties, and all of that happened, and we felt like after 7 years, we are back to square one, where we are having no money and things like that. So then we really went through a really troubled time. We built together with a lot of employees, and I had to let go some of them. So I was thinking, what did I learn? So then I felt that probably I would done an MBA from the costliest university, which is Entrepreneurship for Life itself, and had to go through multiple things. I plan to share some of them today with you. Of course, by no means I'm pretty, we are not doing whatever it is, but the richness of experience is not small either in that sense. Alright, so we talk about marketing, we talk about India to the US. You guys can hear me, right? India to the US, we talk about product management and product-led growth. Some of the things you will hear, let me know if you want me to, I'm not really explain, but if anybody thinks that maybe spend a few minutes, I'm happy to do so. But in SaaS world, we'll hear some of these ACV, CAC, LTV, churn, global churn, dollar churn, North Star metric, time to first value, product-led growth, product market fit, SEO stuff, and everybody comfortable so that anybody wants to quickly know anything. Alright, so when we look at the GTM, and I just wanted to see where we are versus somebody else. So we have the annual contract values of companies going up to 1K to almost $1 million, 100 million. And then if you look at the 2x2 where it's small segment and large number of customers or small number of customers, you have folks like HubSpot, Salesforce, etc. close to 100K, maybe $1 million of annual contract value, and very large segment. Every business can potentially be their customer. You have specialized ERPs only on the construction side. In our context, we have Procore, very large ticket sizes but very small number of customers. And then of course you have Zohos of the world and Office 365, which have again every small business can afford them and should have them, but their ticket size is smaller. We are somewhere here, and actually from a VC perspective, it's a very bad quadrant to be. So we realized probably this is the reason, not really the Ukraine war, why we didn't get a larger fund, because you have 2-3 million customers all worldwide, and your ticket size is close to $1,000 a year. So there is no way you can make a $100 million company. So therefore, it doesn't make sense for a lot of big VCs to come in and invest here. More about how to deal with it later, because that's not so much context. But yeah, we realize this is where we are. The reason I paint this is maybe you can also analyze your own companies and see where you are. If you are enterprise but very niche, or so and so forth. And we have a plethora of GTM motions, starting from salespeople's lobbies, where really people are driving the sales, to telecalling, telesales, and then full product led. So what you see here is a product led, which is where product is the main sales. Starting with freemium models, free trial, self-serve, demo, and maybe some people where some human intervention is there. We play predominantly in this space. I can also talk about sometime as to when one should do freemium versus free trial, what's the difference and why we are doing free trial, not a pure freemium, and stuff like that. But yeah, this is where product-led growth companies are, where they have almost zero salespeople. Product is the sales, and everything is automated for you to drive conversions. So this is where we are, and there is no right or wrong. But I just had this thing to just find misfits. And yesterday I met some person who was doing enterprise. So if you have enterprise and you have very large market size, and your ACV is also large, you can afford salespeople, because each salesperson will cost you $200,000, and maybe that person can get you 2 million, 3 million of revenue. It makes sense. I met somebody who had enterprise, and the average contract value was like $10,000. Now that's a sort of a misfit where you have enterprise and a very small ACV. So you can't, the motion is all sales led, but you will never recover the money from the salesperson, because your money that you get out is extremely low. So you've got to figure out. That's important to also give you a framework where you can also analyze where you are and your company is and what we can do. Of course, the strategies remain the same, either increase the ACV or have cross-selling done or expand the offering, so things like that. We are here where we are very small businesses, typically solopreneurs, female-led. 83% of all our designers are females, single member to 5-member teams. So that way our GTM is perfectly valid, because it's purely zero people involved. The problem is in the TAM, where after some time, so this is another framework that I use, and maybe you can use to do that. So now onto the GTM specifically. What we did was to first look at, so just a couple of slides to look at the framework. There are certain channels which give you immediate impact, where if you look at the targeting is very specific. Like in Google specifically, you can target very specifically only this geography, this particular behavior, this keyword, so on and so forth. And they also are actively looking, because if you're searching in Google for the best free interior design software, you're actively looking for one. So that's the top segment that we have. And in the bottom segment, you're not actively looking. So you are scrolling Instagram and suddenly you see an ad. You're not really looking for interior design software or whatever, right? But you're just scrolling. So that's the bottom lane you have, where you have these strategies are helpful in increasing the pie or the size of the brand, not necessarily immediate conversion. So that's a one quick thing to kind of lay here. So out of the organic, social or viral and paid, there are three predominant channels that you can go with the market. You can create your own mix, and I have some examples of when you should create your own mix. There are companies who have won heavily just based on paid, and they pay thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars to Google and Facebook. One of my friends works with a company called justanswer.com in US. They are massive amounts of money, but they went in that thing only on paid marketing. We might think that, hey, paid, it gets very costly, does it make sense or not, things like that. There are companies like Booking.com built entirely from the organic part, and we have gone the organic route and we'll share more about it. There are companies which have gone the wire part, Airbnb and many others. So you can pick your own models and see which is the right mix for you. Here is an example of how you find out what is the right mix. So say with me for the numbers here, if your LTV is less than $1,000, the first time value is how much money you collect from the customer upfront. So if you are selling $50 a month and you have an annual package going for $500, let's say 10-12% discount, that's the money you collect. The cost per lead you get from paid is $10 and 2% is the conversion. So effectively 500 is your CAC. Ignore the sales part because it's mostly marketing. So there are two metrics that one should look at. One is the LTV minus CAC, which has a cash flow impact. So in this case, I'm spending $500 to get a customer, and I'm immediately getting $500. So I have no net zero cash flow impact. But LTV to CAC is 2:1, and most companies would say you should be above than 3:1 as LTV to CAC. So this person needs to do something with LTV to CAC, either reduce the CPL by blending with more organic or stuff like that. So that is cross-sell and get higher LTV. The other case is where you're predominantly selling monthly and you don't have a very high annual package sales. Your LTV is high, 30 months of lifespan multiplied by 50. Rest remains the same, CAC is 500. So you're losing $450 of net cash immediately from every customer you acquire because you're getting only $50 and you're spending $500. But your LTV to CAC is good. So in long term you are going to be a winner, but in short term you need to fund that acquisition. So either you go raise funds or you monitor churn, which can throw up your LTV and or incentivize people to move from monthly to yearly by offering discounts or whatever. So there are strategies which can tell you that. So this is the guy who can completely run on paid marketing forever. And the more machine and more money he or she throws, the more he or she earns because the LTV is high, so LTV to CAC is 4.8:1. So in long term, it's a good business, right business economics. And even in short run, on every customer, he or she is making $100 net. So it's an infinitely scalable model. So you can paint your own picture and see where you are and what you should do. But this can be done on a paid marketing without any issues forever. We are here. We have a very high LTV to CAC because we are hardly spending anything now, 6:1. So we are around 2021 where we had a lot of money we had paid. So we were growing predominantly based on the paid marketing, averaging 60,000. We also spent $120,000 a month, and then the money exhausted. So we started to invest in organic, SEO, organic, and everything else. And now within 1 year, our traffic in free trials doubled from the highest paid account, and then we went up 3-4x. And then you're seeing, this is our own chart, and now we are hitting a sort of a plateau of some sorts, and we need to do something else to probably need to invest in variety of social. So that has been our journey. I'll quickly touch upon a few areas. How do you get the discovery of your product? How do you get the right audience? How do you get conversion up? How do you have time to first value? Product-led growth, time to first value is a very important concept. You need to realize what is the value that you deliver to the customer and how quickly you can get the customer to realize the value. And nobody is telling them how to try this product. They have to try on their own. Engagement, which is a 3D framework, and unblockers. So organic marketing was a major area when we thought we have to invest and get our SEO and other things right. So we actually started off with keyword analysis, mapping, creating assets, which could be blogs or downloadable magnets, ebooks or whatever, and fix our SEO website. I will not delve too much into it unless you really want me to. But this is a very predictable framework. If you really do it right in 6 months onwards, you can see amazing amount of results. promote your assets, which is guest post, backlinking, etc., and social activation. So we did all of that in this phase and didn't see too much of result. But suddenly the hockey stick started happening in 7-8 months. So as the domain authority increases, this cycle gets shorter. So tomorrow, if I have to redo this in my company, this will probably take only 6 weeks for me to hit this numbers, because now Google is ranking my domain authority as very high. I'm supposed to be an expert in this area, and we were not, so it took more time for us. Anyways, this was that you start realizing probably you're not getting the right audience. So I call it strong at wrong places. So I was strong at the wrong place. This chart is the key here. So we were ranking very high on keywords which were more informational and navigational, not really commercial. Commercial intent keyword is where you need to be ranking high, because those are the guys who have highest purchasing intent. For example, best interior design software to buy. Now this is a commercial intent keyword. We were ranking low on that. We were ranking very high on how to create floor plans, top 5 rendering software. These are informational, navigational sort of keywords. So we had to redo the whole mapping and learn a lot of things in the process to start having our commercial intent keywords and landing pages rank up. But that's how we switched from the red to the green chart, and that's where the results started improving quite a bit as well. So this is another thing we realized. So this is what we constantly need to do as well. The third thing is the conversion. How do you get conversion high? So of course it's again a very big thing, but since there is no person giving the demonstration, a lot of investment has to go into automation of how do you onboard the people, and we are a bit more complicated software because it's a design software. So for many others, it's simpler things. So we need to tell them how do you fire a render, how do you set the lighting, how do you get the accurate measurements. It's a bit more complicated. So that we invested a lot of automation. And of course, a lot of small things. We started with register for free demo and then switched to an active voice, get free demo. Now we suddenly saw a 6% jump in the demo bookings. So very small things on how do you write your copy, which is more direct, more active voice based. This stresses of the world. You have to be a bit more shapeless about how you position and stuff like that. So we did all of that. We also realized initially we had these vision statements on our landing page top fold. Great vision statements, making interior designers successful, but very bad for a SaaS company because it doesn't really tell anything. So when you switch to more direct, what you can do with my software, you have a higher conversion rate. So things, I also had magical AI powered next gen software, great for VCs but very bad for customers. So you got to navigate all of that as well. We learned all of that thing. We learned a lot about Google as well and switched to different bidding strategies, which actually gave us more result. Especially the ROS was the best bidding, but we did all of that. Happy to talk about. So this increased the conversion quite a bit. When we went down to 0.9 or 1%, we came up to 1.8%. But of course, why we are 1.8%? That's mostly because of the traffic which jumped from 93,000 to 2.5 million. And then every guy on earth is trying to come to your software. They really don't have the need. That's why the conversion overall kind of drops. Now, time to first value is super important for you guys, so you should keep a look at that. So, what is the aha moment people get from your software? How do you make them realize as fast as possible? In our case, it's easily create a flow plan. So, we had some automation tricks in onboarding, and we incentivize people to actually get to that very quickly so that they can get beautiful renders. And this is the aha they get. Oh, this is what I produced in 7 minutes. This is amazing. Now I like this software. So how do you get people to this rather than worrying the aha moment very late in the game was another thing that I learned. The last thing is to unblock. That's why the conversion was also low, because in the funnel we realized a lot of these channels were not being served. For example, we had no experience for 30% of our traffic which was on mobile. Our software wasn't really working on mobile. So if that money is getting wasted, that free trials is getting wasted, so you unblock that. It was working only on Chrome. We unblock that. Many people would like to transact in their local currencies, so we enabled multi-currency. and suddenly we saw 2-3% jump. So you keep unblocking, and we just last November we launched Spanish and Japanese version. So now I can expand the funnel, even though they are coming, they are useless to us, and now slowly I expand it to this much, and few more things are there like iPad, etc. But that's how you make more out of what is already coming to your. Some works, some doesn't work, some will need even more thinking long term, like mobile we have launched, but it's not really working because just enabling desktop on mobile is not good. You need a totally different UI UX. So things like that. So there is still some more work to be done, but some work, some didn't work. So that's probably. The last thing which now future next year 2024 and 2025 what we plan to do is, as we have made a platform on the organic side, we plan to kill two birds with the same stone. How do you get the next level jump, and that will come through virality, and how do you increase the TAM, because we pretty much got us now. How do you increase the TAM? What do you do so that we can be $50-100 million companies? So we are trying to do something here, and I would like to just give a glimpse of that. So currently we are so this is the funnel. The topmost guys are the architects or very complex, very sophisticated firms. They are very small in number. Then the green ones, the interior designers, then real estate agents and homeowners. Homeowners are like huge, like 250 million people. Interior designers are 3 million. So we are currently in this blue zone. This is what we are serving. So we are going to be launching Foyr AI, which is basically going to be aimed at expanding our TAM, because now homeowners, hobbies, it's not a complicated software anymore. Using AI, anybody can launch it.